It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I want to start this beer review by saying a massive thank you to Stephen Claxon for collecting a load of beers from the wonderful Trembling Madness in York and sending them down to me in South Wales. Thank you very much, Stephen. Really appreciate it. We're down to the last two beers. So we've got one more of the ninth birthday celebration beers from Amundsen. This time it's with North Brewing Company. This is not the beer I'm reviewing, I'm just showing it off. But if you want to see some of the other 9th Brewery celebration beers, check them out on the channel. But this is today's beer. Now, in 2022, when the situation kicked off in Ukraine, let's just say it, Ukraine, let's not mince our words, I decided to buy some beers in Brewdog from a company called Varvar Brew in Ukraine and review them beers. And I thought at the time I was doing a really good thing. But it turned out in the comments box of the videos of the Varvar Brew beers, there was a massive difference of opinion. So ever since then, I've kind of like moved myself away a little bit of reviewing slightly kind of like, you know, I've just been picking beers that are kind of normal. They're not going to cause a lot of massive comments in the comments box. And, you know, there was a massive opinion on me reviewing Ukrainian beer. But it's been a year now since that whole situation kicked off. And we've got another Varvar Brew beer. It's by Holy Goat Brewing in, I think they're Dundee, these guys. I think they're Dundee. Yeah, they're in Dundee. Now, these guys produce some amazing beers. Holy Goat Brewing and Varvar Brew. And it's Goats for Ukraine. So the reason why I mentioned all of that is, and the reason why I mentioned Stephen Claxon to begin with, is the fact that Stephen purchased the beer for me. So, of course, I'm going to review it. Comment in the comments box if you remember the Varvar beers I reviewed a year ago, and the amount of comments in the comments box now was because, of course, I went in giving my full support for Ukraine and whatnot, and then I just had these comments saying, basically, you know, don't believe what you hear and all this stuff, and I'm not, you know, now I don't really watch the news for I don't really watch the BBC anymore, so I don't really know what's going on. I know it's still happening. I know it's still going on. I thought I was doing a really good thing, but some of you thought that I wasn't doing a good thing. So I've decided to kind of like, in the last year, not get overly involved in it. But I'm going to review this beer today. Now, this is a golden sour with buckwheat and honey. Look at that. Definitely looks golden. Getting all that yeast in there. Incidentally, I really enjoyed the Varvar Brew beers from Ukraine. I thought they were terrific. So this beer's got a 3-finger white head, good levels of carbonation. This is hazy, golden looking ale. The ABV as well. What is the ABV on this one? 7.4%. 7.4% ABV. Right. Here we go. Smells amazing. Lovely sourness coming through. You definitely get that buckwheat. It's like sticking your nose in to a Weetabix. Literally putting a Weetabix to your nose. quite prominent actually, but then the sourness is too. And so is that little bit of honey. This smells delicious. The other beer that I had from Holy Goat Brewing, I can't remember what it was now, but it was tremendous. It was really good beer. So Stone the Crows, let's get into this one. Cheers. Wow. Oh, wow, that was sour. I went into that beer review with the whole kind of Ukraine and Varvar and the reason why I've not really gone into this beer review prepared for the sourness in this beer. That completely blew my mind. That was completely, wow. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. You know, there's a tendency these days when you read sour that it might be one of those modern sours where, you know, they're kind of fruit-based sours. That is fantastic sour beer. That is like being in Belgium. That is like standing in front of one of those massive fooders in Belgium where they've either got a load of cherries, there's a cherry creek, or one of those wonderful lambics, and the sourness and the proper sour beer. That is really sour, made my face crinkle up. Wow. You're also getting little touches of honey as well in the beer. Carbonation is quite vigorous. It pushes that beer around the inside of the mouth. Ooh. Fantastic. The drinkability as well. Just how refreshing and drinkable this beer is. Just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But it's that buckwheat. I said it in the aroma. It's like sticking your nose into a Weetabix. Now what happens with a sour beer is, or what happens with me with a sour beer, is that you get past the sourness. You don't completely get past it, but your palate quickly adjusts to the sour flavour. So when your palate adjusts to the sour flavour, you're able to appreciate the other flavours in the beer. So you start to appreciate more of that honey, more of that buckwheat, more of those kind of other flavours in the beer. That carbonation that pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth. But what a beer. I'm glad I've reviewed it. I'm glad I've reviewed it. I really am. I know I went into explaining kind of like why I haven't reviewed any more of the Ukrainian beers in the last year, but I don't want the whole comments in the comments box to be dominated by that. I mean, if they have already become dominated by that, if you've already left a comment on that, if you've already left your opinion, then fantastic. But I think leave another comment in regards to whether you're going to try and find this beer and drink this beer or not. Because if you like sour beer, good old-fashioned kind of Belgian sour beer that's properly sour, then please go and find this from Holy Goat and Varvar. It's tremendous. Love that. Absolutely love it. You don't really get that 7.4% ABV either. Brewed in collaboration with our friends from Varvar Brew based in Kiev, Ukraine. This blended golden sour beer was brewed with Scottish barley, wheat and oats and fermented with our Brettanomyces strain, a mixed culture which produces citrus, stone fruit and growing funk. We fermented the base beer with raw buckwheat honey, which lends a subtle earthy honey jasmine flavour to the beer. And then this is the bit, so profits from this beer will be donated to aid the humanitarian effort in Ukraine. Drink young or age, this will get weirder. Slava Ukraine. There you go. Gonna rate that. Now, these guys, Holy Goat Brewing Company, and of course Varvar Brew, they're worth finding. Definitely Holy Goat. Holy Goat, for me, blew my mind. I remember reviewing the one beer, I think I bought it in Brewdog actually. Terrific. And this one, equally terrific. That for me is a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.